You wanted a 2 divine minion build, that could do T17 maps? Take it, it's all yours. Let's begin the 2 divine minion build. Fleshcrafter, very bad choice for defenses but, it shreds enemies' resistances. Pretty good helmet, the rolls don't matter, so we buy the cheapest. Decent boots, 80% more damage and we can anoint it but, sadly it has a movement speed penalty. We gonna use a lot of abyss jewels, and this belt is perfect, but don't waste too much currency on it. For quiver, we want high amount of flat physical damage, critical modifiers or attack speed. Doomfletch is amazing, try to get one with high attack rate. We need a lot of abyss jewels, you can fix your resistances or get immunity to ailments, but the most important mode, is to get flat added physical damage to minions. We need one medium cluster jewel with a special mod, on trade they are expensive but, we can craft them with alteration orbs easily. I got mine with less than 60 alterations. 8 passive minion jewel, but we craft it with a single reforge chaos.
Nice.
We are playing BAMA, therefore we need 2 transfigured gems, they also have a vendor recipe, you can check it out in POE wiki. For rings, we looking for life and resistances, having an open suffix is useful to craft another resistance mod. Also we might have mana issues, therefore make sure you can craft something on them. You can buy cheap veiled rings and get decent chaos resistance in the end.
Nice.
The amulet is the same as rings but, you might have stat problems or mana issues, therefore make sure to craft minus mana or what your build is lacking. For gloves, we want life and resistance but, an open prefix to craft minion damage would be good. Doomfletch does not have a decent flat damage on it, but you can get tons of elemental damage if you add physical damage to it, therefore we are stacking minion jewels with the physical modifier. Cheap way to 6-socket your items. Because of the boots, using quicksilver or silver flask is useless but, instead we can have 4 defensive flasks to boost armor and evasion. Also the suffix modifiers on these flasks are flexible and you can swap them if you need to. GGG should add more items to be bought from vendors, like maps, contracts, tomes and more, it will add so much quality of life to the game. For the implicits, use whatever you like but having minion damage would be nice. Make sure to automate your flasks, you can buy the orbs really cheap and try to spam your flasks until you are happy with them. I prefer on full charge enchantment but, feel free to use the bench craft if you don't mind spending more money to save time. Instant life flask, we also want the bleed immunity craft on it, but we can craft it easily with beasts. We gonna buy all of our gems from vendor and level them in mapping, also you can corrupt haste, to get the Vol version and skip trading with other players. For even more damage, I recommend these 2 cheap anointments but, feel free to use something else if you like. 112 chaos orbs left, and we are almost done with getting the gear. For having better endurance charge uptime on our build, we need to craft a small cluster jewel, it can be done with ease just by alteration spamming. Having endurance charges on any build is so necessary that we cannot skip this huge boost to our defenses. Let's move on to the Ascendancy. This node is purely for defenses and does a great job, without it you cannot tank a single purple Uber Shaper ball. Having Tailwind is such a big deal, it boosts the damage of minions, but more importantly it scales the speed of the character. Our movement speed is limited, therefore by scaling action speed, we can be a little bit faster. Moving to the aspect of the Ascendancy, if we remove these 4 nodes we will lose a lot of damage but, it also has a 50% uptime, therefore our damage is around 35 million, but once the buff is up, we are dealing insane damage without any dumb conditions. As you have noticed, my character was a duelist with Paladin Ascendancy, but sadly Paladin is so conditional and needs to be close to enemies to deal decent damage, therefore Wild Speaker is 10 times better than that. So you need to be at least level 73 to put all the gear on yourself, but you can start playing the build very early. BAMA is 100% league start viable and can be played from level 10, we will talk about leveling in Axe later, but first we need to level up to 95 plus. What I personally did was farming experience with Abyss monsters, plus Syndicate mechanic. And for gem quality you can flip the supports, and use lab crafts for skill gems or even spend more money. Once you got your levels, you can try hard content, but you have to play the build safe, stay far away and let the minions do all the job. Let's do more. As expected. T17s are a joke, what about UBERS? Okay, playing with the window open is hard, I can't see what is going on. Pretty sure I can do feared. After fighting Uber Shaper, I found another problem. Maybe using mark on hit would be better, since during this fight, I did not have my mark or my offering skill, but this is the playstyle. If you are not good at boss mechanics, then don't try them. Also do not get any kind of pierce, it will mess up your ensnaring arrow, and you will not be able to debuff the enemy. For normal mapping you don't need to be careful, just go forward, therefore this build is really good for boss rushing, or Maven invitation farming. Let's talk about upgrades to build, but before doing any upgrades, it is important to understand how much of our damage is coming from these unique items. Starting with boots, helmet and body armor, removing each one of them will hurt the damage by roughly 50%. And if you remove all of the 3 core items you will end up with 7 million damage in the top end. For upgrades, I do recommend to 6-link your main skill gem and add 2 more supports, and replace boots with a rare one, therefore you will benefit from all movement speed buffs, and you will still have very good damage. For 2 divines, the build is done but, you might struggle in leveling, you can get yourself a Quill Rain and Hiri's Bite and use it up to level 28, then you're gonna swap to Doom Fletch and even on 4 links you will kill every boss up to maps. Using Twink leveling items is highly recommended. I will put 2 POBs in the description, one for leveling and the other for your endgame setup. Also I have a proposal. I know you guys watch me mostly because of 1 divine builds. But are you guys interested in 0 to hero journeys? Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, or share it with another Exile, or all of them. See you in the next one.